Okay, I will be sharing one kind campaigns, but I would say that's a good example of combining both social or digital platform, online, offline together to achieve good results. So SPRG, we designed and launched a 24-month communication campaign for Chavia, the EU Commission's Department of Consumers, Health, Agriculture and Food Executive Agency in starting 2019. The title of the campaign is Colors by Europe. The objective of the campaign is to raise awareness and purchase intent regarding EU food and beverage by promoting the safety, quality, and authenticity of EU's agricultural products. So category of the EU food focus in this program includes like wine, spirits, meats, dairy, olive oil, cereals, pastas, fruits, vegetables, and many others. We developed a holistic communication strategy that put WeChat, you just mentioned this name, WeChat, at the center of the Chavia consumers outreach. But we also couple with like print media, KOL, and other online platforms like Weibo, Douyin in the West, they call it TikTok, activities all focused around driving traffic to the WeChat account. So in the WeChat platform, we can develop like games, mini programs. So on the WeChat platform, we call them the hi-fi games, and design lively content centered around videos, including like monthly shooting of EU F&B videos with chefs as well as experts like wine and spirits experts. So about the KOLs, I don't know whether you know the situation in China. We have some KOL or KOC because sometimes audiences they like to see or watch people who they think, okay, we can be one of them, but it's very interesting seeing how these people sharing the experience in different products. So those are, we call them KOCs. So we engage them. Some of these KOL and KOC, if you want to engage them, it's not cheap. In fact, they're quite expensive because many of them, they have followers like millions. It's quite easy to have like 1 million, 2 million followers. In fact, some of the very famous KOLs in online or WeChat KOLs, live streamers in China, they may have over like 60 million, 80 million people, but they are not celebrities or superstars. It's ordinary people, but they have that kind of followers. And probably you may also heard about a day in China, November 11, called the Single Day. And then for many of these KOL or KOC, if they live stream their experience on certain products and all that, they can move sales like 100 million US dollar easily in 24 hours. So you can imagine if you want to open a shop or open a retail outlet and then you achieve like 100 million US dollar in a day, probably you need many shops. But one KOL in China can achieve that. So people just click on button and then buy the products. So that's how you can engage these people. Food, lifestyle, maybe technology, gadgets, and all those products. So we try to engage these people. Before COVID-19, we also have done one event online. So we invited a few F&B KOLs to do live streaming for the promotion event with Hema. Hema is a supermarket chain in China. So for that one event, total views reach over 30-something million. So you can imagine how crazy, how popular these KOL could be. So in the first year, so this campaign achieved over like 40-50 millions of impressions and have exposure of near like 6-7 million with some of the KOC involved in various tasting events, and then the WeChat posts, and then they increase the number of followers with like 500,000 views easily, and the games and all the other different events and in Weibo and Douyin. But I will also want to point out that the merits of these social media platform in China, such as WeChat or many others, it may be different from the online platform in other parts of the world. Because you know, in China, when you start having all these when you start following all the different platforms, in fact, your identity can be traced. So that means it's like you're organizing physical event, and then you see that person physically. Of course, you can't engage with like millions of people at the same time, but you can pick some of those you want to further engage or engage deeper. So this kind of scale is not comparable. Physical events or traditional PR event can't be comparable to these kind of online event that you can meet like 10 million people at one time. So this is how we can even have more direct contact of the audiences. And also we can move the online to offline, because if you start having like creating games or lucky draws and all these kind of thing on the WeChat account the brands have, then eventually these participants may need to show up physically. So then you have another opportunity to engage them. But I also want to emphasize that the offline event for this travel campaign is also important, because like in the first year, we generated something like 160 media coverage, but the reach in China is over 120 million. So it shows how important that if we can combine both the online and offline events together, then the achievement could be great. The question you also asked me is whether PR loses place if we already have the KOL, KOC on WeChat accounts and many others, and then they can even sell the product. Like I answered the first question at the very beginning of this forum, if PR, we still keep our core competence for like designing the positioning for a brand, creating key messages, approaching the right target audiences, and selecting the appropriate channels. So I think both online and offline. So in fact, this gives us a lot of opportunity. And also, like I mentioned, the KOL, KOC, the influences, the impact they have. I would say PR, we could even nurture or we can grow our own KOL or KOC. It would be a lot easier than we want to achieve that via traditional PR, because most of the KOL for traditional PR, they are already celebrities. People know them very well. But on the online world, probably you can create a KOL or KOC in a very short period of time, as long as you can make them popular. So then this KOL and KOC will help PR a lot, and in fact, sometimes you even sort of like own them. So that's something PR have a big role or big opportunities in the future. And also in China, although we have been developing social media platform or digital platform for a long time, but you may also understand that rules and regulations change all the time. So if you are not aware of the new changes, it may impact the brands, or even your content have to be taken off or taken down from the platform. So again, then PR, we have that role and the first-hand immediate information on all these changes. So can't leave us, because we are the one who understand most deeply how it's operate, and then we can help them to execute these media programs, social media programs successfully. So I think that's my sharing, and if there will be chances to answer questions, I will be happy to do so later. Thank you very much.